There have been some really cool innovations and advancements in the wireless lavalier microphone space. They keep getting smaller and smaller. But does that mean they're getting better and better? Today we will unbox and put to the test the Hollyland Lark M2 and see if this can be the wireless lavalier mic for you. And I did not intend that rhyme. Hi friends, Bill here. Welcome into Bill's Reviews and Tech Tips. I'm glad to have you along for the ride, and I'm super excited because today, together, we're going to unwrap, unbox, explore, and test out the Hollyland Lark M2 wireless lav kit and determine whether or not a little quarter-sized lavalier mic can deliver the quality audio that we're all looking for, because I already know this is a pretty good value. So if it can deliver good quality, we may have a winner. I should tell you at the very beginning, they didn't send this to me. I bought this with my own big boy dollars, and so we will be giving you a very honest review of the Hollyland Lark M2. I use wireless lavalier mics all the time. I have the other brands that you're very familiar with, including the transmitters. They're quite a bit bigger. They're roughly about 1.5 to 2 inches long. And if you end up putting the windscreen on them, it looks terrible when you clip it to the outside of your apparel. In fact, right now, talking to you, I have one of those transmitters in my pocket running to a lavalier mic clipped onto my hoodie, right? Because I just don't like that other look at all. Maybe you do, that's perfectly fine. But wouldn't it be a cool world if a button-sized wireless lav could come along and help deliver really good audio without being so visually obtrusive? That's what we're hoping to discover as we cut the packaging here on the Hollyland Lark M2 together, and away we go. Kind of excited to see all of the different aspects of what's in this kit, because after doing a little bit of homework, my understanding is that it includes items that other brands sell separately. Nobody ever said I was really good at this. Here we go. All right, so let me pop this open. Okay, we'll pick it up right in here. One of the things I'm most excited about with the Hollyland is that it includes all of the different adapters and connectors that the other brands are selling separately. So if you can get everything in one kit, it's all the better for us. So as we open up this box, we see for the first time how it's presented to us. Of course, we're going to have our packet of documentation, one would think. And something very cool that we'll explore together here in a little bit that I really, really like about this. I'm going to save that kind of as a surprise for us here for a moment. First, the core, the basics, right? The ubiquitous case that handles charging. This is such a great innovation across all brands, by the way. I really love this idea of the case that you can put everything in and it just charges all the things up at once. As you would expect, it has the USB-C charging port here on the backside. And as we flip things open, we get our first look at what the Hollyland experience is going to be all about. We have the primary receiver, and we have the two wireless lav mics all together with their magnetic backing on them. There is the primary part of this kit. Now, how big are these? This is about the size of a quarter. I think that's probably the best comparison I can give you. And man, that looks nice and inviting and nice and small. Also in this kit, I didn't want to leave a couple items behind because this is what other brands are selling separately. Here is your adapter to plug into Lightning and into USB-C. Some of the other brands that I won't mention in this video give you one or the other, and then you have to go and purchase the other one separately, which I think is just a bait and switch mess. I can't imagine why they're doing that. Well, I can imagine why they're doing it, but I wish they weren't doing it. So what we get here in the kit, well, let me keep unboxing things so that I don't leave anybody behind, because that box is kind of like the Russian nesting doll. It just keeps on going and going and going. We've also got the case that handles everything, because within this case, but wait, there's more. Within this case, we've got a few more items, including the windscreens for both microphones. I don't want to jump the gun, but I can't imagine using a windscreen that big on a mic that small, but we'll get into that here in a couple of moments. And we have the very important mini to mini, 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch connector, because here's why. Everything you see here now is included to allow you to connect the Hollyland Lark M2 to whatever device you have. If you want to plug it directly into your DSLR camera, you're going to use the receiver along with the 1/8 inch connector. If you want to connect everything into your smartphone, these are the receivers. They are going to go directly in. So I should actually present everything kind of separately. This is what the kit looks like for your DSLR. This is what it looks like for your USB-C, which most likely would take you into your laptop or into a newer tablet, or maybe if you have an Android. And of course, the Lightning is what's going to allow you to plug this into your iPhone. I love the fact that all of these things are included in this kit. Yeah, there's a necklace. Let me get this out for you. There's a necklace. I'm not sure I would wear it, but there's a necklace with a magnetic backing to it, so that if you want to hang this around your neck, it readily and securely attaches to that. And then you can put this, maybe I'll try it when we do our test, put this inside your clothing or outside your clothing. We'll give that a look a little bit later on. So that comes included with all of this as well. And then, as I mentioned, the windscreens. Other items in the bag. They give you the recharging cable with a standard USB on one end to the USB-C on the other side to recharge your kit. If you don't already have 17 of these in your life, it's nice that one came with this Hollyland kit. I feel like a kid with my stockings at Christmas. And then we have one more item in the box, which is the clip, right? So there are times when you would just as soon take your microphone and clip it to something instead of worrying about a magnetic attachment. If I had a collar on, a lapel on right now, this is probably how I'd want to attach it. But if I put this right onto my lanyard, that's how it's going to look. That's the size of this entire microphone setup. And I love that because we can make that work. By the way, I told you at the very beginning, as I was pulling things out of the box, that I was kind of excited about one little aspect, one little surprise that I wanted to save for you. I forgot that this was going to be part of this kit, but it is, thankfully. They actually include stickers that you can put onto the button to cover up the Hollyland logo, so it's not so distracting. One of the things that I like the least about the other brands is that they insist on having their bumper sticker on the transmitter that you would have on the outside of your clothing. Now, I'm probably not going to affix any of the smiley face emoji stickers or any of these things to them, but in my world, putting the black sticker on the face of the transmitter makes it blend in even more. And I love that idea. So that's super well thought out by the Hollyland team. So there's our unboxing. We've shown you everything in the kit. Now, let's find out if this is any good. And put 3, 2, 1. Okay, we have shown you everything in the kit. This is all of it. Now it's time to put the Hollyland Lark M2 to the test from an audio quality standpoint and see if this cool kit also delivers really good audio. As we move into the testing phase of the Hollyland Lark M2, here's how we will do it. I'm going to continue to wear the microphone that I've been using throughout the video so that we can have that consistent bass as our comparison. So that's the lavalier mic that's actually clipped onto my hoodie, the one that I've been using throughout. And then I'm using the necklace they provided, the magnetic attachment that they provided, and running this Hollyland Lark M2 into my DSLR camera, which is right over here. And we'll go back and forth throughout the testing phase of the video. A reminder that to connect this into your DSLR, you use the included receiver and the 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch, a little extension plug-in that goes into the audio input of your DSLR. On the top of the receiver, there's a dial. That dial helps control the input levels. I've got it on the lowest setting. I'd rather bring audio up if it's needed, and if not, then I can leave it where it is, but I don't want to have audio pegging on the high end because then it's really tough to recover and fix distorted audio. A quick note, the Hollyland Lark M2. This little puppy has the microphone right here on the top. It's possible for me to mount it upside down, and then I'm not going to get as good of direct audio as I might like. Also, I am not a fan of putting windscreens onto this little tiny thing, so I probably won't do that. But a bit later, we will test it out by me putting this inside of my hoodie and seeing if there's a lot of fabric rub that would prevent using it on the inside of a layer. It's 6 degrees outside, so I'm not going outside. So let's do our test in here. I'll also test it for distance and interference as I walk through the extended space of our studio here in a moment. So first, let me count to 10 on the original mic, and I'll count to 10 on the Hollyland mic. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Original mic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hollyland Lark M2 into my DSLR, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so there's our 10 count test running into the DSLR. Now, let me do this. Let me go for a walk. You're not going to see me. I'm going to leave the room. I'm going to head into the other room, and I'm going to continue talking onto both microphones. I've got my back to the studio. I am now 10 feet away, 15 feet away. I'm 20 feet away. My back is still to my studio. So if there's a body-related interference, let me see if that fixes. I'm now about 45 feet away, and I've turned around so that there shouldn't be any direct interference between me and the receivers. Again, I've got both microphones going, so we will switch back and forth between the original mic that I've been using throughout the video and the Hollyland that's plugged into my DSLR as I make my way back into the studio now. I'm 10 feet away, coming back in now. Okay, so we make our way back into the studio, and I do believe that the Hollyland Lark M2 has an advertised range of over a couple hundred feet. So there shouldn't have been any issues with the distance I traveled, but perhaps because of other electronics and walls and things inside the studio space, maybe there was some breakup as I had my back to the camera for a good portion of that walk. I'll have to take a listen before we reach our final conclusions, but there's a good test of this Hollyland Lark M2, and a reminder that not only can you plug it into your DSLR, which is probably the least common use for it, but you also have 2 receivers that go directly into an iPhone or into any sort of a USB-C input. These also, by the way, have separate charging ports on them. Hey, let me briefly interrupt the review taking place in the studio to show you how well this system works with other devices. First, we'll take an up-close look at the USB-C receiver plugged into an iPad Pro, and when you see a solid green light there, that means it's matched up and paired up with the solid green light on the microphone that you're wearing. These two are talking to each other, and you are hearing that audio. By the way, there is another light not lit up because the other Hollyland mic was still in the charging case. Let me power it up. You'll see a blue light come on here, and in just a couple of seconds, you should see a pairing light indicator right up here, which means now both mics are ready to go, and it happened that quickly. So that's the USB-C receiver. Let's take a look next at the Lightning receiver into an iPhone. Using the Lightning connector receiver that comes along with it. There we are right there, and literally just hitting record into the native iPhone app, and you are good to go. Meanwhile, I simply put the microphone on the front of my hoodie. couldn't be much easier, and the sound is really good. The only thing that I wish was a bit different is that as small as the microphone is, I wish the case itself wasn't quite so small, because it doesn't have room in here for those other items. So you'll keep those in the bag that they provide, and then you'll have to charge those separately. This is really just for the receiver that goes into the DSLR, and then your two microphones, and that's it in this case. So that's one primary difference that you'll see between this and some of the other big name brands. By the way, it may not trouble you at all to know that you can save a fair amount of money when you purchase the Hollyland, and the only difference being that you'd have to plug these in and carry them around separately and make sure that they're separately charged. Okay, I'm going to take a listen to the audio I just recorded, and we will come back with some conclusions in a moment. I just took the SD card out of my DSLR, ran it into my computer, into my audio studio, popped it in, and was really quite impressed with the performance of the Hollyland Lark M2. I mean, really super impressed. So the other thing I want to do before we wrap this up is duck this microphone inside this layer, all right? So I've still got the original on. We'll still go back and forth, but I'm going to do another walk out of the room. We're still rolling on the Hollyland here. We're still rolling on the original mic here. And what I'm curious about, and I'll do a little bit of awkward movement, which some have told me is the only kind of movement I have, and continue to walk through, doing some bizarre, as if I was leading an aerobics class, waving of my arms. All right, I'm 40 feet away with my back to everything. Now I've turned around, heading back your way into the studio, trying my best to move some fabric around and see what this does to the quality of the sound. It's kind of a tight hoodie, so it's not like it would be flapping in the breeze if we were out in the breeze. But we come back in, and we'll take a listen to this audio and then come back to wrap things up. Okay, let's summarize everything we've discovered here today. And again, a reminder, I bought this. They did not send it to me. Throughout our close, by the way, we'll kind of pop back and forth between the two audio sources as I continue to wear the original mic and the Hollyland, just to give us more samples of the quality of the audio. My overall conclusions, I'm really quite impressed. The kit itself is very robust. It comes with more attachments and more accessories than I ever expected, all the way down to the very thoughtful idea of giving you a way to mask over the logo that's on the front of this thing. It's really pretty solid. I'm going to make great use of this, and probably as much outside using my smartphone, using my Pocket 3, using other devices as I would here in the studio looking into a DSLR camera, because the versatility is here. We've got the clips that can attach the mics to other clothing if I happen to have some sort of a lapel or buttons on here. We've got the magnets that's attached to it right now. We've got this necklace that I probably won't use very much, but it's a pretty cool idea. And as far as I can tell, the only thing that I wish was a bit different is I wish that the case was roomier and would included room for the two different transmitters for your USB-C and for your Lightning connector. But from a value standpoint, from a quality standpoint, Hollyland Lark M2 is a winner. Appreciate you being with us. Would love to know your thoughts in the comments below, and please hit that subscribe button here to Bill's Reviews and Tech Tips, because we'd like to have you along for the journey of everything else that we review. And if there's something you'd like to see us review, let us know in the comments below. As far as Hollyland Lark M2 goes, job well done.